Hey guys, back at Roseanne's Kitchen Table with Cara, and I wanted to talk about something that happened to me this week. And again, my science chick is with me, so hopefully you can break this down. I was sick this week. I was sneezing, I was coughing, sore throat, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm so glad to be sitting this close
And
to
we
you
are
right
this.
now.
I think we're in the clear. What is
Okay,
it? There's got to be a scientific term for that. When I'm right on the other side of the sickness,
Well,
now you can't catch it.
Yeah, you're no longer communicable or
No longer
contagious.
contagious,
Yeah.
communicable. Any of the movies that were, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
so I was sick. There is something going around LA because everyone that I know has been
So
getting
true.
sick for the last like 3 weeks. My boyfriend went to the doctor. The doctor said something was going around, and it had been started right before January. Anyway, you can hear it a little bit in my voice now, but I'm basically better. So the doctor gave me some medicine, like some cough stuff and some, decongestant kind of stuff. And it like kind of worked, kind of didn't work. I couldn't really tell. But then David made chicken soup, like seriously homemade stock chicken soup, spiced the hell out of it, cayenne, everything. And within 10 minutes of eating it, completely clear, I could breathe, I could smell, I felt much better. The pressure was gone, all that. So I think you can see where I'm going with this science lady. Medicine versus just home remedies and homeopathic stuff, because this to me was, I'm not big on all the medicine in general. I try not to take it unless I have to. If you want an anti-inflammatory, there's other ways, turmeric or whatever, there's other ways than taking medicine. Of course, medicine works at times and you need to take it for certain things, and food can't resolve everything. But this was an example of sort of, to me at least, doing something that works for you, and that sometimes that's the best way to do it.
I agree with you. I think that I think it's about sometimes having these kinds of conversations really do come down to terminology, and unfortunately, you kind of have to get that stuff out of the way. So we're talking about medicine, right? But medicine, chicken soup is medicine. If you're specifically saying the difference between a pharmaceutical drug that is for sale behind a pharmacy counter or is for sale at CVS versus something that you can produce at home, sure, those are different conversations. But when we talk about, for example, medicine, pretty much anything that you take in your body that has a medicinal effect, aka makes you feel better, we could probably call medicine. If we use the word drug, alcohol is a drug, marijuana is a drug, but also so is Tylenol. These are all drugs. So we've got to...
Marijuana did not help the cough, I tried.
No, that's probably not a good idea.
Did not
I
help.
find marijuana good for upset tum-tums.
Yeah.
Not so much good for foggy head.
Not good for foggy head?
I found that.
No,
I found
okay.
it kind of gives you a headache
I knew
more,
I should
but it
have
makes you
called
feel
you
better.
for
Exactly. And probably
okay.
not good to smoke it for the...
Yeah.
Chicken soup, amazing for that. I recommend hot pot, my favorite Sichuan dish from China.
It's
all right. Delicious and very spicy.
It sounds very spicy.
And yes, amazing broth there. And so the idea here that home remedies are something that we should shy away from because we are scientific thinkers, I think is totally bogus.
Because there's science behind the food, right? I mean, there's reasons that the food works.
There's evidence. But the issue here is, are we talking about a treatment for an infection or a treatment for some sort of disease process, or are we talking about things that make us feel better? And so the truth is, the chicken soup made you feel better because it cleared up your nasal passages and you could breathe again, which is huge. When you have a cold, that's huge. The cold virus, I sincerely doubt it did anything to the cold virus that was residing inside of your body. Your immune system was fighting off the cold virus. And the reason when you have a cold, usually that your doctor prescribes you a decongestant and an antihistamine or something to clear up the drainage is because if you continue to have drainage down your sinuses into your throat while you have a cold, it can often advance into some sort of a throat infection or a lung infection. And that can be dangerous. So you want to dry all that stuff up so that you don't get, a bacterial infection as a secondary infection from your
So you're saying chicken soup's not going to do all that?
No,
but
chicken soup's
but
like
it's
not
going
going to
to
cure cancer, for example. And this is where, if we take this to an extreme example, this is where I start to have a hard time with conversations about things like naturopathy, homeopathy, holistic medicine, and all those terms mean something different. So let's be clear about that. If you are diagnosed, for example, with cancer, if you are diagnosed with diabetes, there are certain disease states in the body that biologists can point to. They know what's happening there. And if you want to have any real chance of beating it, you will look at evidence-based medicine, which means that there have been years and years and years of scientists trying to tackle this problem, and they've been working very hard to develop different treatments that we know work. Chemotherapy works. Chemotherapy is horrible for you. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's basically killing you, right?
It kills your cells.
The
nice thing is we're getting to understand more about molecular markers in cancer. So, for example, let's say you have breast cancer, which is a very common type of cancer. There may be some sort of estrogen marker in that breast cancer that's only in those cells. That's good news, because that means that then you can target that marker when you treat it, and you don't have to kill healthy tissue around it. Unfortunately, not all cancer works that way. But we know that chemotherapy works, and we know that radiation, chemotherapy, whatever your oncologist is recommending to you, is historically and evidence-based the best way to go about treating it. Taking shark cartilage and rhino horn and drinking green tea is not going to cure your cancer. It's not. Now, that doesn't mean that your cancer is going to go away completely if you also take these other steps that are evidence-based to work. It just means that you're going to have a significantly better chance. It bothers me when people try to say that, like, somehow the medical industrial complex is, for example, holding out on legitimate treatments that you can find right in your home, that you can find. If shark cartilage cured cancer, trust me, somebody would have patented that.
We'd start killing more sharks,
exactly,
right?
And that would be available as a legitimate treatment. It's not. You know, they always say, what do we call alternative medicine that works? Medicine! It's not alternative anymore.
Right.
And that's the important thing to think about. Chicken soup is not an alternative medicine. Chicken soup is something that very much can help you when you feel ill, because it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Do you think it's weird how people sort of think that the Eastern and Western versions of medicine are so in conflict with each other? Because actually the cancer example, when you were saying that, it makes me think, like, so you can go and do the chemo, and then actually there are plenty of people that then smoke weed or take edibles after whatever to deal with the nausea, to deal with the pain. Then they eat more. So actually these are two things that can be used together.
Yeah, and they'll do mindfulness meditation, which can really improve treatment strategies. There's all sorts of amazing treatments out there that are non-medicinal that make you feel better and ultimately do contribute to your ability to physically get better, whether it's for your immune system to be boosted enough to fight off infection, or whether it's to be rested enough for the medicine to be able to work. And that's something that's important too. Sleep, eating, getting exercise, these aren't things that a pill can help you with. They're things that you physically have to do, but they probably have almost as much of an effect, depending on what you're going through, in improving your prognosis for getting better. So, you know, I think the issue that I take with as a skeptical activist and as somebody who is involved in the skeptic community, our issue is with charlatans. It's with snake oil salesmen. It's with people who actively try to push products that don't have any evidence to prove their efficacy, and literally take advantage of people when they're in those final throes, when they're the most desperate. And that to me is just it's highly immoral, and it's something that we should be stopping using the tools that science has given us.
Right, so just to be clear, to sort of wrap this all up, there's a huge distinction there. It's not, you're not against the other stuff. As a science-based person, you're not against the other stuff that could help the meditation and all that stuff. It's the people that are pushing it as a substitute for what is empirically, empirically proven.
Yes, I'm against not doing the evidence-based medicine in favor of doing something alternative that has no evidence to support its efficacy. You do what you know science has shown time and time again to give you the best success. And the other things that you do to make you feel better, to make you, if you're a spiritual person, if you're a religious person, to make you feel more rounded, better equipped to fight this disease, great. And also, again, this is all personal. This is all a very personal decision that people make, you know, and we could have a whole other conversation about the power of positive thinking and the problems I have with that. The idea of fighting cancer, not succumbing to cancer, like, these are all different conversations that we can have. But I would never tell anybody what to do with their own body. What I will tell you is that if you are a religious person who believes in faith healing and you don't give your kid a vaccination, or you don't take your kid to the doctor when they're sick, and your kid dies because of that, you are a criminal, and you are criminally negligent because you were choosing alternative treatments over traditional ones that science has shown us work.
I was going to try to end this on a positive note.
We
were almost there. Well, you know, but all right. So yeah, Western, Eastern. What do you do when you're sick? Do you believe in all the homeopathic stuff? Do you believe in the science? Do you do a little blend of both, which is what I try to do?
Homeopathy's bullshit.
Homeopathy's bullshit. Let us know.
Different than other Eastern treatments.
In the comments, right down below.